Hi there, Dr. Bill Crawford here, psychologist, speaker, author of 7 books, host of 2 PBS specials. Here again to bring you another tip on how to help you create the life you want. Specifically, how to use my life from the top of the mind philosophy to bring more clarity, confidence, creativity to everything you do. Today I want to share a quote with you that I found on Pinterest. I love Pinterest, got some wonderful quotes. It has to do with how we deal with difficult people. It says, "Never let someone with the significance of a speed bump become a roadblock." I love that because I think it speaks to how we can deal with certain difficult people in our lives in a way that minimizes their influence. Because I think sometimes we are making people, especially certain difficult people, more important than we want them to be. Drivers on the road, clerks that don't really give us the service we want, people that we probably don't know, will never meet again, or at least aren't important in our lives. Notice how in the past we might have found ourselves reacting to these folks with anger, frustration, anxiety, annoyance. When we're doing that, we're actually making them way more important than we want them to be in our life, because that anger, that frustration, that annoyance is actually a chemical change in our body. For those of you who follow my life from the top of the mind philosophy, you know we got these 3 parts to the brain. Lower part of the brain is called the brainstem, middle part's called the limbic system, upper 80% is called the neocortex. The limbic system has a tendency to kind of look for danger or threats or negative experiences and has a tendency to react to them in a way that throws us into the lower part of the brain. So when we perceive someone as annoying or stressful or irritating and depressing, we become annoyed, stressed, irritated, and depressed because our limbic system is throwing us into that lower 20% of the brain, triggering adrenaline, noradrenaline, and cortisol, and we find ourselves reacting to certain types of people in ways that don't serve us, in ways we wouldn't recommend to someone we love. When I'm doing my seminars, I'm talking to people about how to deal with difficult people. And I say, okay, so let's look at these drivers, these clerks, these people, maybe even their coworkers, but they're just not people who are significant in our life. Let's ask that question. How important do you want that person to be in your life? How powerful do you want that person to be in your life? The answer is almost always 0. I say, okay, so let's look at how we make people important, because frankly, there's 2 ways to make people important. We can love them, that makes them important, or we can resent them. That makes them important. If who we're thinking about after we encounter them is them, they have just become the most important person in our life. And if that is a negative encounter and a negative experience, we're being thrown into that brainstem triggering chemicals that really mess with our health and our ability to access this clear, confident, creative, compassionate part of who we are. So what if we went forward being very purposeful about who we give our ability to influence? There's a quote I love. It's a kind of a thing that I found on Pinterest as well. It says, how do you keep people from jerking your chain? Don't give your chain to jerks. So we don't want to give people the power to make us feel a certain way if they're not important in our life. Now, there are people who are important in our lives, who we want to have meaningful discussions with, who we want to influence in a way that improves the quality of that relationship. Could be certain people in our family or even people at work. Those people may deserve our focus. In my books and my seminars, I have a specific 6-step model about how to engage those folks so they actually hear and understand what you're wanting them to know. Feel free to go to my website, billcrawfordphd.com, learn more about that. But these other people, these drivers, these clerks, these people that aren't important in our life, what if we actually brought them down to a 0? Just think of how we engage people, or think about people who are not important in our life. We frankly don't give them another thought. Unfortunately, when we are running the experience of a bad driver or a clerk or someone that's unimportant in our mind over and over and over, we are giving them a second and a third thought and a fourth thought. They have just become the most important person in our life because we are allowing them to dump adrenaline, noradrenaline, and cortisol into our body. Messes with our health, messes with our blood pressure, just not what we would recommend to someone we love. So what I'm encouraging you to become more purposeful, more discerning, in whether or not a particular person or a situation is truly important in your life. Don't let something or someone that is a speed bump become a roadblock. Don't let it block your ability to access your clarity, your confidence, your creativity as you move forward and become more influential in your life and in the lives of others. Hope you're enjoying these videos. I'm having a wonderful time bringing them to you. If you do, please hit the like button. You know how Pinterest and Facebook and YouTube love it when you like it. If you think your friends could benefit from this, feel free to share it with them. That's also a wonderful way of spreading the word. If you would like me to come and do a seminar, workshop to your organization, your church, your school, about how to access this clear, confident, creative part of who we are and minimize those difficult people, difficult situations in a way where they no longer affect us, all you got to do is go to my website, Ph.D.com, or just Google Bill Crawford. I'll come up on the first page. Hit the contact button. Let me know what you're interested in. In the meantime, here's to you, bringing more clarity, confidence, creativity to everything you do. And I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.